The word evil gets tossed around sort of casually in politics. I use it from time to time. Donald Trump calls the people asking questions about the flooding in Texas evil. But sometimes a story comes up where I don't have a word in my vocabulary that fits it better. And here is one of those stories. A good headline for it that our producer put together would be Donald Trump saves $0 starving over 1 million children. But it's actually worse than that, because what we're talking about is emergency food aid that was already made, it was already bought, it was already staged to be provided to people who need it, in this case, kids. And they cut all that foreign aid funding or whatever, shut down the USAID. So even the money that had already been allocated now couldn't be used because there was no staff to actually use it. And what's gonna happen is they are going to incinerate enough food to feed 1.5 million kids for an entire week. That is 500 metric tons of emergency food they're gonna have to burn, rather than sending it to kids in Afghanistan and Pakistan who desperately need it to potentially not die. And think about all the goodwill that we could potentially generate by doing this. This is how you generate soft power, spending very small amounts of money in the bigger picture of the American budget to help out people so they have some good association with America. And that's not what we're gonna do in this particular case. So that food was bought for $800,000. It's high energy biscuits. It's intended to meet the nutritional needs of kids under 5. They had been stored in a Dubai warehouse. They were intended to go to children this year. But again, the agency has been destroyed. And just to be very clear, I gave you that sort of like sarcastic headline earlier. Donald Trump saved $0 starving over 1 million children. It's actually worse than that. This isn't a savings, but it isn't $0. We're gonna spend $130,000 burning that food. We're gonna spend more money. We already bought it, it's already there. But now we're gonna spend $130,000 making sure that nobody gets it. And that's what we're doing. It could have fed all of the hungry kids in Gaza for an entire week. Hypothetically, it never would have gotten past the IDF. But if it could have gotten in, it would have fed them for a week, Sharon. What do you think?
You know, it's criminal. There are these restaurants, I forget which one, where if you go in close to closing and you say, can I have 10 pizzas or something, whatever they have, they'll just give it to you. Because why waste it? Why just throw it in the garbage? That doesn't make any sense. If you aren't someone who loves to hurt children, you just give it away. Why would I waste that? But this is what we're doing. And like you said, it's not just about, saving money or less money. It's about waste. You're gonna incinerate this stuff when there's kids all over starving, just like the medicine that was going to waste. Remember that too? Yeah. They'd rather not save people. They'd rather, while you're standing on your yacht, you're watching people say, please just throw me something. Do you have something for me? And that's, how could you stomach that? Who are you if you can stomach that?
By the way, like again, the priorities that we have. So it costs $800,000 to do this, to feed 1.5 million kids for a week. $800,000 seems like a lot of money, I guess. We just gave trillions of dollars to the wealthy. Like you're telling me that you believe we can't cure hunger here in the United States or around the world if we wanted to, if we cared, we could easily do it. They're just choosing not to do it. And I want to jump ahead to graphic 4 because this story is about food for kids specifically. I think a lot of people just naturally, it's revolting that we would be party to this. That was 500 tons of emergency food, okay? But understand, that's not the entirety of the food that's going to waste. There are apparently, since January, nearly 60,000 metric tons of food. A lot of it grown here in America, already paid for, just sitting around the world. So that story is 500, there's 60,000. And it's just sitting there. And according to a former senior official at the USAID's Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance, by the time she'd left her job earlier this month, very little of that food had moved. And every day, more and more of it just goes bad and will have to be disposed of at expense, will have to be burned. But that is enough food to feed millions upon millions and millions of people that we already paid for. Goodwill that is potential, but that we're not gonna make good on. Because Donald Trump and the Republicans wanted to kill USAID because Project 2025 told them that that's the direction they should go in. And so it's not just that we're not buying the food in the future, we're wasting all the money that we already spent. What a goddamn waste. Anyway.
What a waste. And you mentioned the goodwill too. That's incalculable. How do we even calculate what we're losing in friends and allies and whatever else? I mean, we are part of a global situation here, some kind of universe here even. And yet we're squandering everything. We're wasting, we're literally telling people, we'd rather you starve.
Yeah. And how amazing, how perfect is it that the guy responsible for all the cuts is the richest man in the world?
Says it all. It's like a children's book, a teaching moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Roald Dahl is what it is. It's almost too like, come on, universe, some subtlety.
Yeah.
Like the richest man in the world's like, all that food for kids, they don't need it. Screw it. Meanwhile, Elon Musk clearly eating well, but like the kids have to starve. Amazing, amazing.